Well, hi guys, whoever is up. I know it's kind of late. It's super late. I actually need to be in the bed myself, but I decided to come on here and just hey, happy Mother's Day to you too, Texas Coco. Hey Sam, I am. Hey guys. I'm doing fine. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing good. I had a good Mother's Day. I was at work, but I didn't do much at work, so it was really, really peaceful. Thank you so much. Hey, Dee Dee, how are you? Hey, Cliche, how are you? Okay, guys, I wanted to come on here really quick as I had something that was on my mind. For those of you who have been following me from the very beginning, hey, Anthony, good morning. Welcome to the channel. For those of you who have been following me, hey, Mysterious Mermaid, when I first got started on this channel, which was almost 4 months ago, if you guys remember, I used to do the late night candlelight chats, which is what we are doing right now. And this will be a quick one, but it was something that was on my mind and I wanted to say it. Yes, the Insomniacs. Yep, Felicia remembers she was one of my originals. And what made me decide to bring up this particular topic is because of the live that I listened to earlier that Auntie April, On Site April, did. And shout out to On Site April and her beautiful sister. That was a beautiful live. And I was glad that we were blessed enough to actually witness the conversation. And in the live, on Site April was basically dedicating it to Tracy. And we all know all the drama that has been going on, and people coming against Tracy for not having children, throwing slurs at her, and she's thrown some back. So this is a even thing. But the point is, On Site April had her sister call in, and she had her sister express the reason why she decided not to have children. Okay. And it was a very touching call. And basically, what her sister was saying was that the relationships that she was in at the time, initially, she wanted to have children, but then she decided against it because the relationships were not good. And she said that she felt it would be selfish for her to bring a child into the world, um, specifically with the partners that she had. So that got me to thinking, on the other side as a parent, how, and this is just some real parent talk, it got me to thinking how many of us as parents, though we love our children, we appreciate them, how many of us are able to be honest with ourselves by saying that we were selfish for some of the situations that we brought our children into. Um, Again, like she said, she chose not to have children because of the fact of the partners that she was with. And when she said that, I thought about myself. And I hate the fact that YouTube is the way that it is. It's these very moments that makes me, even though I enjoy the drama like everybody else, we all like a little mess. But because of how treacherous the streets are, and the fact that people are not able to come outside of their egos and get back to the fact that we are all human, we all have passed, we all have made mistakes, it makes it to where me wanting to even share my story on how I became a mother, I can't even do that at this very moment as bad as I want to, because of the fact of how negative everybody is. You get what I'm saying? So I will say it like this, okay? Um, my situation, by the grace of God, turned out great. But I have to be honest and say that when I was listening to April's sister speak, I had to applaud her, and it made me applaud a lot of people who have chosen not to have children in order not to take the chance of bringing them into situations that could be bad, you know. And I look back at how selfish I was in making the decision to have my child. I'm just going to be completely honest. I was super selfish. But I also do understand and know that everything happens for a reason. I would not give my son back whatsoever. The journey has been incredibly beautiful. It has been difficult at times, but I've learned so much about myself. And it also has caused me to deal with things that I needed to deal with from my childhood, because I know within my experience that when I physically gave birth to my son, it brought up a lot of childhood trauma that I thought that I had dealt with. I have a lot of respect for women who are brave enough to make that decision. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Patricia. I mean Patrice. I'm sorry. Yeah, it brought up a lot of trauma for me, and I had to actually go and get counseling for that because, you know, I would say this. Before I actually became a parent, because I didn't have my child until I was 30, okay? Other than that, when I was growing up, all my friends had their children extremely early, okay? But I never wanted to have children because I never wanted to deal with the constant worry. Um, just the constant worry of having to worry about somebody for the rest of your life, if that makes any sense. It was never clothing them or feeding them, thinking of anything like that. It was just the fact that me bringing somebody into the world that came out of my womb and being worried about the fact that once they are outside of my womb, even once your child gets a certain age, it's a point where you're going to have to let them go. And to realize that no matter how bad you may want to, you cannot protect them from everything. That was a feeling that I never wanted to have. But apparently, the universe saw differently. And again, I would not give it up. But I will say, as a parent, to especially those who are non-parents, because a lot of times us as parents do not be honest with those who are non-parents. But again, I will say for myself that I was very selfish um, in how I had my child. I'm struggling with right now with my son 25 and my daughter who is 20. Yes, cliche. It's difficult, and we're not honest about that with people. And even just the freedom of being able to do the things that you want to do, being able to let go. I could imagine. I could imagine. You want your children to grow up, but even with my son just being 7, he'll be 8 this year, and just the changes that he's made, just seeing him grow up is great. But it's scary at the same time because I'm like, one day he's going to drive. One day he's going to be able to really be on his own, and I'm not going to be able to, dictate his every move. That's very scary, you know. And wait, let me read that last comment. I'm sorry, guys. Right, I had to deal with that fear as well after I had my daughter. You feel helpless. Absolutely. You feel helpless. You do. These are the thoughts that us as parents have. And it's also trying to create a balance, even as far as working, not working. It's a lot of things that go into it. And like I said, in my case, I've been blessed to have an excellent father for him. Me and his father, we have an excellent co-parenting relationship. I thank God for that every day. No problems whatsoever. We both work hand in hand. And I'm grateful for that alone. You know, but yeah, those are just my thoughts when it comes to that. I really enjoyed that conversation. Yes, it's absolutely a blessing. Absolutely a blessing. And like I said, when things change on YouTube, or either it may be a conversation that I'll have one day with you guys on my Patreon so that you guys can really understand exactly why I say how blessed I am for the situation, um, it is a blessing, you know, and it's definitely a learning experience. And I can also say that as a parent, that though I do know in my heart that everything happens for a reason, I still look back and think to myself how much I wish I would have accomplished, or chances I would have took before I had children. But at the same time, with me having my child, he gave me that goal to where now I feel like I don't have a choice but to make it. I don't have a choice but to take chances, because he got to be taken care of, number one. And number two, what am I showing him? I am one of those people who do not believe in just dictating to children. Children learn by example. And I am trying to show him how to stick to what it is that he loves, to walk in his purpose, and to be whoever he is. And for him to know that I will love him for whoever he is, you know. Let me read some of the comments. I ended up in counseling for 2 years when she went to college. Just moved out to Seattle in December. She is 24 now. Oh, wow, Patrice. Wow. But that's good that you went and got counseling, though, because you know how we feel about counseling. A lot of people don't want to get it. There's just something that our children don't know or haven't experienced yet that we don't want them to have to deal with. Absolutely, cliche. Absolutely, that's the thing. But it's like, it's also the fear, the reality that there are things that they are going to have to experience, and all we can do is just pray that they make it through, just like we had to do. There are some things that I experienced, or chances that I took, that neither one of my parents know. I've had myself in very dangerous situations. Now that I look back, as me being a grown woman now, and I look back like, dang, I was really blessed, just for simply not listening to my parents, or thinking I knew it all. It made me understand how much my parents' prayers, that I didn't even pay attention to the fact that this is what they were doing. It made me appreciate the fact that it was their prayers that protected me when I was away from them. You know what I'm saying? And I just appreciate both of them more now. I had my issues with certain things concerning my childhood. But again, it took me to be a parent to understand that your parents grow along with you. They are human beings too. They are not the superheroes that you think they are. And I had to realize that, because I put a lot on my parents, as far as like when I got older, different things that I was not happy with. And I had to realize, like, some of the things I some of the things I did have a right to have an issue with. Absolutely. But the way I handled it once I got older, I could have done differently. And I'm blessed that I was able to check myself as a grown adult before either one of them were in the grave. And of course, it took me becoming a parent myself to understand that just because you have a child, it does not stop you from being human. And, there may be things that my child may have answers for, that I'm going to have to answer to, that I may not want to. That's just the reality of life, especially living in a big city. Absolutely. Absolutely. I know it's scary. I just pray I prepare her for everything. She never gave me any problems. I understand, Patrice. I truly do. Sam, they are blessed to have you. Yes, they are. Sam is such a sweetheart. Sam has always been polite on here. He's polite to everybody, very respectful. So thank you so much for that. Hi, Miss D. Hey, stopping by before bed. Thank you, Miss D. You already know, I told you I was supposed to be asleep, but I had this on my mind. I just had to say it. And right before you go to bed, Miss D, I was just talking about how how April's sister was talking about why she made the decision not to have children because she didn't want to be selfish and putting them in a bad situation. And I was talking about, from a parent's point of view, how many of us are able to be honest with, not only ourselves but other non-parents, or non-parents period, about us being selfish in some of the situations that we chose to have our children in. So that is what was on my mind. And actually, I may decide to do my very first call in. It'll probably be tomorrow. I have to practice how to do the call in. So, hopefully, tomorrow, if I learn how to do it right, I will have a call in. And I just want you guys to ponder that in your mind. Um, and just be willing to share whatever part that you feel comfortable with, to share if I do the call in. Too blessed to be stressed. I love your channel, no matter the subject. I always learn something new. Thank you so much. Text Coco, thank you. I've had to get over my selfishness as a parent. Thank you, Miss D, for that. Thank you. And if I do, no, I'm not going to say if, because I know words are spelled, so I have to watch how I say and what I say. When I learn how to do the call ins, which should be tomorrow, I would love if you had the time to call in, Miss D, and share some of your wisdom when it comes to that. And also, everybody else, any way that you felt that you may have been selfish, as a parent in any type of way, whether it was in the way that your child was conceived or in your parenthood journey, period. I would love to hear that, you know. Um, hey, Mia S. I'm still selfish in some ways. I mean, we all are, Miss D. I believe that. Remember, me and you talked about that about 2 hours ago. I was telling you, you know. But yes, that's all I had to say, guys. I'm trying to be, more open with different things that's on my mind and share it with you guys. And I am happy to say that I am getting more comfortable with coming on here in different fashions. I love you too, Miss D. I'm getting comfortable coming on here more. You guys will be seeing me more, whether it's our little late night chats, seeing my face, or just hearing me speak. Again, like I say to you guys all the time, I appreciate all of you. I have to go early morning, 11 the channel. I also will listen to the replay, subscribing to your Patreon, and purchase merch. Thank you so much, Dee Dee. I appreciate that, and you have a blessed night. Thank you, Sam I am. But yes, peace and blessings to you all. Thank you. And I will see you guys sometime tomorrow. And I want you all to have an awesome night and an awesome morning.